Welcome to TC Talk Sports. I apologize if I seem a bit down. Normally I try to be a happy, positive type of person, but throughout my life I have determined that there's pretty much one thing that can change that in a blink of an eye. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. In this video, I'm going to give my reaction / breakdown of some of the big plays in that stupid Sunday night game versus the Chiefs, which ultimately led to another walk-off win for the Chiefs, powered by their dark magic, black magic, controlled wizards, higher godly being that no one knows about. I'm getting sick of it. Make sure you like this video, comment below what you thought about this game and how stupid the Chiefs are and how the Chargers get screwed every single time they play. Hit that subscribe button. Every new subscriber will help me heal just a little bit dealing with this pain from that stupid game. First of all, wide receiver number one, best rookie wide receiver from this draft class, got rolled out, Loud McConkey, which made other guys in that receiving core have to step up, which I think they did. We saw Darius Davis a little bit. Josh Palmer had a good game. Stone Smart probably had the best game of his career. He had as many catches in the second half as he did this whole season. Quentin Johnston didn't play too bad for what it's worth. He had a couple tough catches he couldn't bring in, but whatever. But other guys stepped up. Will Dissly, of course, got hurt and rolled out about halfway through the game. But again, Herbert did what he had to do with the guys that he had available. Also, no J.K. Dobbins, obviously, so Gus Edwards was that main guy. We saw a little bit of Kamani Vidal. Hassan Haskins was on the field. I don't think he even really had a touch, but he was out there. So these backups, third stringers, fourth stringers, whatever, honestly, they played pretty well. Start the game, Chiefs got the ball first, pretty much marched right down the field. They were running the ball well with Isaiah Pacheco. He came out with a lot of energy in this game. I didn't like the way he would get up after a 4-yard run and start freaking out, but it was a big game for him. He started off well. Chiefs go up 3-0. They looked like they were going to score a touchdown, but Chargers defense looked good, held them to a field goal. That's whatever. First Chargers possession, one of the first plays on that drive, Quentin Johnston running a route over the middle, caught the pass, and then he got absolutely leveled by Nick Bolton. It reminded me of that one Patrick Willis hit that's in every single NFL Big Hit YouTube compilation video. You know what I'm talking about. Two things from that. One, I don't know how the hell he held onto that ball when he can't even catch wide open screen passes. And number two, I don't know how the hell Quentin Johnston got up from that and kept playing the entire game based off of past Chargers injuries. I thought he would be out for the rest of the season, but he got up, kept playing, so QJ, proud of you. Later on in that first drive, Chargers got down to the Chiefs' 38-yard line, third down, couldn't convert, kick a long field goal or punt. Seems a little close to punt. The field goal would have been 56 yards. Cameron Dicker's career long is 59, which he hit this season versus the Cardinals. Dicker's a very accurate kicker, especially like 40 and in and extra points. He doesn't have that strong of a leg. Not saying he wouldn't make it, but I agree with the decision from Jim Harbaugh to punt. Instead of, you make them start from about their 20-yard line instead of giving Pat Mahomes like 50 yards to go to score. A lot of people upset on Twitter about it, thinking it was kind of controversial, but in the end, I don't think it really mattered that much. I think it was a good decision. First example of the Chiefs' magic, example of them selling their soul to the devil. Their first punt, Matt Araiza, punts it down to the Chargers' 2-yard line, whatever. Ball bounces up, bounces perfectly back down. Chiefs down it at the Chargers' 2-yard line. I mean, of course, it couldn't just bounce and roll backwards into the end zone for a touchback. It had to frickin' bounce straight up. They were able to down it. Not a crazy first half, kind of boring. The only touchdown was from DeAndre Hopkins for the Chiefs. Chargers down 13-0 at halftime. I'm sure there was a lot of Chargers fans with a lot of negative comments and thoughts. I was actually pretty positive. I mean, the defense played well. The offense was able to move the ball a little bit. Justin Herbert's overthrow to Josh Palmer, I couldn't believe that happened. I mean, God. Chargers down 13-0 at halftime. They get the ball to start the second half. It would have been nice for them to get at least 3 points at the end of the first half, and then you double dip at the start of the second half, score a field goal or a touchdown, and then boom, you're right back in the game. That didn't happen. They got blanked in the first half, but the first possession of the second half was brilliant from the Chargers. 13 plays, over 7 minutes long. Gus Edwards getting into the end zone for the Chargers. 13-7. I mean, that's That was the perfect way to start the second half. A key play on that drive, it was 4th and 2. Justin Herbert, under pressure, throws an absolute dot to Josh Palmer. Didn't even have to extend his hands. Perfectly thrown in his hands. He did get hurt in that first half as well, but obviously he came back. He was fine, but a huge 4th down conversion there that eventually set up that touchdown. So a great way to start the third quarter. In that third quarter, there was a play. I can't find a video about it because it was kind of low-key, but it could have changed the course of the history of the NFL forever. Cam Hart, who played extremely well in this game, he had a big play that I'll talk about in a second, but he came on a corner blitz, unblocked, straight beeline for Pat Mahomes, and instead of just keep going and going at him, he stopped, put his hands up to try to deflect the pass or whatever. It was a completion by Mahomes after that, but if Hart would have kept going and hit Mahomes, he could have ended his career, I think. If it was the 70s or the 80s, that would have been one of the best hits of the season. If he would have actually hit Mahomes at that point of time, I'm sure every security personnel would have charged on the field, put him in cuffs, and took him straight to jail. He would have been suspended by the NFL probably because he was flying full speed at Mahomes, full head of steam, no one in front of him. Unfortunately, he didn't hit him. I would have loved to see him lay him out with a clean hit, of course, but he didn't. Ended up being a completion for the Chiefs, whatever. Later on in that third quarter, Mahomes did throw an interception. A lot of people probably forgot about that. Elijah Molden picked it off, but the play was negated because Joey Bosa was offsides. Now I know, especially on Twitter, there's a lot of people talking about how Bosa does this in big situations, key parts of the games where he jumps offsides or has a stupid penalty. I do not think he was offsides. He did flinch a little bit, but I don't think he actually crossed the line of scrimmage, and nobody moved on the offensive line. I can't find a video of it, of course, and I think during the game they only showed one replay, and it wasn't the angle that was straight down the line of scrimmage. It was kind of off-centered or whatever, so you still couldn't really tell if he jumped. Based off of past history and his stupid penalties, he probably did, but I'll stand on it, stand on business, 10 toes down, whatever. I do not think Bosa was offsides. Takes away the interception, and the Chiefs' drive continues. But defense did stay strong, set up a 3rd and 16 from the Chargers' 32-yard line. I was watching the game with my girlfriend. I said, if they somehow convert this first down, I'm watching the rest of the game from outside through the window. I live in Pittsburgh, so it was like 35 degrees or whatever. 3rd and 16, Mahomes lofts it up past the first down marker in DeAndre Hopkins' hands, and Cam Hart comes flying over, knocks the ball out of D-Hop's hands. If they would have ended up winning that game, the Chargers, because obviously they didn't, that would have been the play of the game for me. It kind of flew under the radar, but at that point in time, such a huge play from Hart. Hopkins, one of the most sure-handed receivers in the history of the NFL. He had it. Cam Hart, big enough hit to knock it out, set up a 4th down. Chiefs did kick a field goal, put them up 2 late in the third quarter, but Cam Hart, that was a hell of a play. Next drive, Chargers did what they had to do. 14 plays, 8.5 minutes. They go down, kick a field goal to go up by 1. Now, that was kind of a dilemma because they should have tried to shorten that drive a little bit to give Mahomes to have more time in the game to allow the Chiefs to score and then the Chargers to have a chance to come back, or make it a 15-minute drive to leave no time left on the clock. Unfortunately, after that field goal, there was 4:35 left on the clock. I think the Chiefs had 2 timeouts, and that's just too much for this Chiefs offense. But that wasn't even the worst part. What happened next, I think, set a record as it being the first occurrence in the history of the NFL. Now, everybody knows the new rule, the dynamic kickoff, blah, blah, blah. I feel like there's been more touchbacks this season. Yay for player safety. But you have to kick it inside the landing zone, which is like the 35-yard line, whatever. I don't even know. I think for the first time this season, I've never seen it. Comment below if you've ever seen it happen. Cameron Dicker kicked it short of the landing zone on the kickoff, which brings the ball out to that team's 40-yard line. So the Chiefs started that drive with 4:35 left on their own 40-yard line. I just couldn't believe Dicker did that. I've never seen that happen before. And of course, what other team would it happen to than the Chargers, one of the most unlucky teams in the NFL? And of course, they're playing the Chiefs. The magic happens. the little sorcery, the little tricks happen, and somehow the ball lands short. That's nuts. 4:35 left, Chiefs go down the field, really no problem, but probably what ended up being the biggest play, or the biggest not play, something that didn't happen, of the game. It was 3rd down. It would have been they were still in field goal range, but it would have been a deeper field goal. Mahomes scrambles to the right. Dan Henley, who has been one of the most underrated defensive players in the NFL this season, Chargers linebacker, number 0. I mean, he's been playing so well this year. So many tackles. He's come up big in multiple games for the Chargers this year. 3rd down. Mahomes scrambles. Henley comes flying at Mahomes, and instead of kind of chopping his feet and breaking down, Mahomes takes one stupid little step to the left or the right. I'm pretty sure it was the left, whatever. Henley misses Mahomes, wide open to Kelsey. 1st down, and that allowed basically the rest of the time to come off the clock, what's set up to be one of the most annoying losses in recent Chargers history. A 31-yard field goal. Matthew Wright, your professional NFL kicker. Of course, it's the Chiefs' 3rd or 4th kicker they've used this year. You're telling me you can't kick the ball right down the middle. He has to kick it. It starts to veer off to the left. I'm halfway out of my seat. The ball hits the post, and then it goes through the uprights. I almost lost my mind. In a time like that, I just want to pick up the table and throw it through the TV, knock over the Christmas tree, and start punching things. I did not do that. Worst thing I did, I got up, smacked the door frame a couple times, said some explicit words and phrases that cannot be repeated on camera. I was going to take a video of myself as that play was happening, but probably a good thing that I didn't. The doink for the division, it absolutely killed me to hear Mike Tirico say that. And then they cut to the shot of, I can't stand seeing Justin Herbert with his helmet halfway off his head with the look of absolute disappointment. Breaks my heart every time I see it. He doesn't deserve that. Jim Harbaugh was upset as well, obviously. Just a stupid way to end that game. Chiefs win the division for whatever, the 8th year in a row or whatever. I mean, just absolute heartbreaking loss for the Chargers. I don't want to make videos like this, but too many things happened in this game that I needed to talk about. I was tweeting a little bit, maybe a little bit too much during the game, but it's something necessary at this point. The Chargers are cursed, no other way to put it. The Chiefs are also cursed, but they got the good side of it. They blocked field goals to win games. They doink it off the uprights for themselves. Aiden O'Connell fumbles it, penalty after penalty, missed penalty, right tackle for the Chiefs. That's another thing. Chris Collinsworth is pointing out the Chiefs' right tackle, Jawan Taylor, I think it was. Dude false starts on almost every single snap. Collinsworth was saying that, but not talking about how there should be a flag about it. The bias there is just crazy. The glazing is crazy. I mean, the Chargers need to win this game for America, and unfortunately, those witches on the Chiefs' side came through for them. One thing I can say, when the Chargers are in prime time, you're going to get the most entertaining game possible. Even if their offense isn't playing too well or the defense is playing too well for the other team's offense to play poorly, they're the most entertaining game of the week. That's almost a guaranteed fact. I mean, every time they're in prime time, it's an interesting game. Always comes down to the last possession somehow. I mean, this team causes me so much stress and so much mental health problems for the next 24 to 48 hours. I've had some time to sit and reflect about this game. Not the worst loss. They were competitive, but I just can't take these close losses anymore. Well, that's it for my reaction from that game. Like, share, comment your thoughts on this game. Make sure you subscribe. Every subscriber is going to help me heal a little bit. I mean, Chargers, man, if any players or coaching staff or anybody in the organization stumbles upon this video, I love this team, but the heartbreak and the misery I get put through every week, my little heart just can't take it.